Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. So I've done this kind of video like twice already, and it's my journey. I thought it would be like really fitting to do it a third time because my first time was more focused on getting GC2. The second time was like hitting up to 1800 GC3, and then this last time is gonna be like me actually getting up to SSL, which is really like, man, like I've been playing this game for like 3.5k hours and I finally got it. It's crazy, but yeah, let's get into it. All right, so. I'm gonna try to go to the very beginning because before I didn't really address it. So first time I actually played Rocket League was before free to play. I was at a camp. It was like it was a YouTube camp actually. It was fun, which is fun. I had an old channel where I tried to post on YouTube, never would really work out, but then finally it worked. Well, now it works. Of course, what am I saying? But I went to this camp and we actually played video games during the camp, and we played Rocket League at some point. And I remember I played in a tournament with all the people in the room and I lost because I was so bad. So I never thought I would actually be playing this game still. So then I started playing in free to play. My friend is like, who I used to play with, he told me this game was free. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll play it. But he didn't really hold on to the game, so he would only play it for like 2 weeks. And when we were playing, we were getting smoked by like the all-star bots. Sometimes the rookie bots are lower. It's kind of funny. And I kept playing because I just didn't really like the shooter games. Like this game's different, man. Every single time I would play another game like Valorant or like just general shooter games, even on Roblox we'd play some stuff, which is funny. I just wouldn't stick with it. But this one was different, so I kept playing. And he played for about like 2 weeks or so and left, so I was on my own for the rest of the season. That was season 1, and now it was season 2. That's when I started really playing comp. I would play on my own, but really I would only play CAS, and then I did my placements and I got to about silver 3. I remember I kept playing and getting gold, but it was like very hard and I almost lost it. I remember popping into a lobby, I would just get cooked. Like, I didn't even know what to do, honestly. I would just get cooked by the opponents. So I remember one game off of losing gold, I looked up a video on how to rotate, and I won the game in gold to not lose it. So while I was in gold, I actually didn't really do much after that. I really just freestyled in training, learned how to dribble really well, and then flicked many opponents in 3v3s, which is cool. And then after that, I focused on like freestyling and air dribbles, resets, and ground pitches, which I don't suggest you learn that early on, but that's how my story went. And then I remember I was in class, and this was the first time I found layup flicked. I think he was like a transfer, second semester, and I remember he was talking to this other kid in like my computer class. They were talking about items in Rocket League, and I'm like, huh, I wonder if they'd play. So I asked him about it like a week later, and he was about like plat 2 and I was gold 3. He was about to not play, but because we were playing together, we both started playing more, and that means I wasn't really good enough to play comp with him yet. So I had to play 2s on my own. I got myself to about plat after becoming much better. I remember I had to carry one of my teammates. It's the first time I was toxic, really. My teammate like owned gold or something crazy, did some crazy stuff on defense. Got us like scored on. And I'm like, what a save. And then I said like, man, I've got to let it go. So I just said like, no problem after. Kind of funny. Then I scored a 0-second goal and won us that game to get like plat for the first time. And then towards the end of season 2, I got myself to plat 2 somehow, and I played 3s with a friend. This was my first real clip. It is actually like, you'll see it in my like second video ever on my channel, my second short. I hit like a double tap in 3s to like, I think take us up. So it put us like up again, goal. And that was my first like real clip. So then that was around the end of season 2. Now in season 3, the MMR was like moved up, so they made it easier for players to get higher ranks. So I got up to like plat 3 to 4 immediately, and then yeah, I flicked also got up to like around C2, and he was kind of stuck there though. I played more 2s though, and I queued up to diamond, and then diamond 1 to 2 was pretty simple. I queued with someone, but I remember I was in a rule 1. I think it was one of the games in diamond 2, and I was AFK and it made me leave, and then my teammate kind of got pissed at me, so I stopped playing with that. I did. So I just kept on solo queuing and made my way up to D3. I don't remember like anything in Diamond, but just that it was easy. And we found someone named Immortal. So if you've heard of Elimination Rocket League, pretty much you'll have like 8 players. Everyone's trying to score a goal. If you score a goal, you're safe. If you don't, you're out. And then it'll just go to until it's a 1v1, and then it's first to like, I think it's first to 3 goals. So yeah, we did that, and then I played with Immortal in comp, and I had a session with him where we went from D3 Div 1 to C1 Div 4. He was a little under me, so that's why I kept playing. Got him to C1, and I stopped for a bit. You know, that's something characteristic in my journey. I just stopped playing for a while. Just played Kaz and stuff like that. But before Season 3 ended, I remember I went on vacation, which is funny. And I happened to go to the same place as Afflict unplanned, which, like, again, that's really cool. And we grinded together because we both brought our PCs, and I got C2, and then we got him to C3 in a game where at the beginning we were tied up, and then we both hit like double taps and we Barcelona'd the other team. It was insane. But Season 4, I didn't really play comp with Afflict because he was starting to really get up there. He got to like C3 Div 4 with a teammate he was playing good with. He went from C3, like low C3 to C3 Div 4. And I was just still stuck in my own in C2. He got like GC1 after losing his first GC1 game. He got back up again. And I was kind of on my own after. But I got C3 one time, but I just lost it. I was stuck in C2 like forever, but Afflict would help me out. Immortal wasn't good enough to like play with me still, but I wasn't even good enough to play with Afflict yet. So I got back to C3 again, but yeah, of course, I'm just not good enough to play with Afflict at that point. So he got GC, and I looked back at the DMs. He was trying to get GC2 at some point, but he really stopped playing. He wasn't feeling it. So I got to like C3 something in Season 4. Couldn't get GC though. I'd have to play insane. So I just waited till Season 5, and I queued with someone to get to high C3. Now here's where you're gonna start seeing a trend. So I got up to my GC game. We were like an MMR off of GC from the previous game that we won, and we were up 2-1. I've talked about this so many times. So the teammate had an open net, and he actually slotted it, but the opponent bumped me into the ball. So he bumped me into the ball to like redirect the ball like into our net, like just rolling into our net, and then they finished the goal. So we were tied again, and then we kind of just threw that like the rest of that game, and that's a recurring pattern for each of my games to GC and SSL, where my teammate would leave me after. Like, he left the party after that loss, so we were just devastated. And for the actual GC game, I didn't queue with him. I just got back up and solo queue, and then I just got GC. And I think I came back and queued with him until like 1500, and I lost, but I still got the rewards that I lost before getting up any higher. And I thought I was done for the season, so I just played for fun, took the competitive grind off for the rest of that season. Now Season 6, I played like one comp game to get GC, and then I thought it was hard, so I just stopped and played like Kaz. Now in Season 7, I only played Kaz and thought just one day at the end of the season I should play comp. Then I played and got to like high GC1, and I found a good teammate who hit crazy saves. The other game before GC2, we lost, and then he got off. Like yet again, right before GC2 happens. Now, before Season 7 ended by one day, I made a final push, and then I finally got GC2 again. So, in Season 8, I focused more on my channel and cast clips, and yeah, there's nothing much for that season. Just got GC2 again. And then, Season 9 after, I would still like focus on my channel, but I played comp and I actually worked on game sense. I would try to play a game without like using any mechanics, because that's where I was struggling with my game sense. And I got some decent teammates, got to GC2 again, but it was really about hours at that point, just playing the game forever and trying to like SSL or whatever. So then I tried to learn to play without mace, playing better. That kind of just got me to like 1650, and I actually had played on an alt. Back then they allowed it. I don't think they're allowing it now for you to play on an alt, but I got it to like 1680 and the teammate lagged, but I remember my teammate lagged, but I actually had a good mindset and we almost won that game as well. So then I was thinking about quitting, but like over that summer, so this is like, if you think about it, this is like 2 years after I first met Afflict at this point. Like, this is actually a while. the more that I think about it. I finally found a team, like, with people that were solid in threes, like a threes team. In, like, they were GC. I was actually motivated to keep on playing to this, you know, like, if I wasn't, like, too good, but at the same time, I was, like, slightly above them. So, like, I had a solid role. And, however, when I was in, like, about 1640, I found this other teammate, and I queued with him to, like, up to 1709. It was insane. And on the GC3 game, we played someone who also would have promoted to GC3, who was playing with the GC1, which is crazy. And it was literally 1-1 the whole entire game, and then we got scored on at the end to lose. It was painful again. And then the teammate left me again. I don't even know where that teammate is nowadays. And I'm all the way down to 1600 again. And I'm pretty sure this was like a time skip later on, some time around season 9 to season 11. I forgot really, because I had GC3 in like season 12 and 13 and SSL in season 14, but that's for the later. So yeah, it's probably season 11, where like season 9 and season 10 were more towards the channel. So then season 12, I had more hope, and I got a decent teammate. I almost got GC2 early season, but pushed down more with a certain teammate. I kept winning with another teammate. Finally got up to GC3 for the first time. People don't talk about the difference between GC1 and GC3. That's what I like to say back then. Because like I used to think that everyone would just think of like GC is just a general like category, like, oh, I want to get GC, like, do you want to get GC1, GC2, GC3? Like, no, I just want to get GC. Like, they don't care about the difference in skill in those ranks. Even still, like, when I play against GC3s, they're pretty hard to play. So yeah, I just didn't really care about my rank anymore, and I actually queued that season. Because before I wouldn't queue at all. Now I'm trying to do that. I would grind myself down to 1650, then back up to GC3 again. So then, this was actually last video. I said I was 1709, and I was hoping for later. And I actually got to about 1716 or so when I was queuing. And the same teammate who I got GC2 with the early season, I found him. And we queued, and it was insane. We got up to like 1823 and beat so many good players. Tried to queue more at the end, solo queue, but I really only got up a few MMR for an 1826 peak. And that left us off for season 13, which started up kind of slow, but played with some good teammates, got up to GC3 in early season. We dropped out, but I had hope again, got GC3 yet again. Found some more teammates. One guy was about an 1800 rated player, but he just didn't really play a lot. But there was this other guy. He actually has a channel. His name's KBM. He's solid. Funny thing was, the first time I played with him, he's kind of like, he wasn't roasting me, but he was telling me like, oh man, like you can't miss that, and that actually hits different. But I kept on playing with him. I was queuing with him up to like GC3 to 4, which is insane, 1840. Then we played another stack of an 1800 and 1600 and lost before the end of the season. So back to the next season, season 14. And start of season 14, I had like no confidence at all. I was just staying in GC2 for like forever. I almost dropped to GC1. I was at 1590 and lost my hope. Normally I would just grind up to 730 AM in GC3 and I was chilling, but it was harder. So I actually found a Acidic who somehow got to 1800 last season in season 13 or season 14. What am I saying? So I queued with him to get to GC3 again. But late season he didn't play as well and he kind of dropped. But right before he dropped, we queued up to about 1800 before the end of the season. This time it was different though. And I made a video where I queued from 1800 and tried to get higher. I literally got to like 1860 that video, and then I played with a teammate who made kind of a lot of mistakes when we were partied up, so we lost that in a close match. I got set back a bit, but I wasn't ready to back down for the end of the season, because we still had like about a month or so. I then found on a literally insane teammate before the end of the season who I would try to queue with, but I just felt something weird. Like I wasn't like trying my best because he was just playing way too good. I just let him carry me and not do anything. That worked until one game off of SSL. Now, I'll tell you guys the story. We were up 2 at the beginning, of course, and then I threw 2 goals to force OT. I had an open net and then I missed it crossbar. down, and they won, of course. I was so pissed. My teammate was as well, so he left me yet again right before SSL game. If you guys can see this recurring pattern of teammates leaving me for my GC1, GC2, and GC3 game and SSL games, like that's just insane. Just a ton of pain. But I decided I would solo queue and won an intense game to bring me back up to SSL the same day, and I recorded it. It's one of my shorts, and the video should be published eventually, hopefully. Maybe it already is. We went up 2-0 in that game and got put to 2-1, but they almost scored at 0 but missed, and like it hit the ground, so it was hype. There's a short out there if you guys want to see it. But that's not the end of the story. Now I need SSL rewards. I don't know if I would get them. I found the same dude who's actually at about SSL. We got to 3 of 10 wins, but went on a loss streak and almost lost it. So then I solo queued, and I actually did lose SSL. Got to 1840, but a Flicked, who was actually playing with me, said, "Oh, keep queuing." So I finally kept queuing, got back to SSL, and I think I actually queued with that teammate again. We got to 1895 for the peak, and we were at about 8 out of 10 wins, but disaster struck. He was gone. He was gone again. I dropped out of SSL, and I fell all the way down to 1709. I remember one day I was queuing, and I dropped to 1709 after 3 hours of gameplay. It was insane. It wasn't about to end that way. I finally grinded and had some decent teammates, fair share of teammates, until I got to about comfortable but uncomfortable 1770. Now, I actually took a little bit of a break before, and then I got on for another session. Turns out Cozy P was online, and I played with him while I was streaming. I'm pretty sure I invited him. We went 2-2 and left after losing. He left after me losing 2 in a row, but he wasn't ready for what would happen next. I solo queued and found a teammate second round that played with me well. We partied up and won. Not 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, we won 12 in a row to get SSL rewards, and then lost to a top 100 player to a literal top 100 player in the past. I was fine with SSL for season 14 and let the season end, because I had rewards. But now it's today, season 15, and I find myself down again 1640 or 1630. Who knows what this season will hold for me? Either barely SSL, maybe 2K, or maybe a bad ending in GC3 or worse. But what won't change will be what I've already done in the past. The season 14 SSL tag that I will always hold as long as I keep this account.